Well, hello everyone. Hi, Scarlett. Hi, Rana. Long time no see. How are you? Hi, Ashley. Thank you. So what's everybody else doing today? Okay. So I'm going to give a little bit of Diamond Art 101. You get a diamond art, you get diamonds in these little packets, you get a tray, a wand, and a square of wax, typically. For your wand and your wax are just going to be set aside first of all. What you want to get is what's called washi tape. You can even use masking tape. You can even use clear tape if you want to. Totally up to you. Gonna open up your diamond art. And what you're gonna do with your tape because outside the picture there's a little bit extra of sticky stuff that you would use to stick the diamonds to, but you don't need. And it is the first thing that gets absolutely dirty. It doesn't matter how clean you are. Your body produces oils and all kinds of things that come off in your pores and your skin. So my suggestion, just to keep that area clean for later, if you want to mat this or do something with it, is to mask off or tape off around the perimeter of your picture, just to keep that area clean. Hi, Pam. Okay. So that's the first thing. Now, when you're folding back these sheets, or you may notice that there are wrinkles or rub or whatever in your covering, you could take it up in sections. I suggest corners, and then drop it down, and that helps straighten that out, at least in the initial stages. Okay. So your board right now is almost prepared. The other thing I suggest is that you use a marker, a permanent marker, and write the word up. Because when you take this plastic off, and you may think it's a piece of plastic, it doesn't matter how I put it back, it's going to be fine. No, there is a right and a wrong side to this. Hi, Maya. One side will stick to the sticky surface much more than the other. save yourself the headache of trying to pull this up and hopefully not pull up your sticky stuff. Write the word up. So when you go to place this back onto your piece, if you ever have to take it fully off, you look to make sure the word up is able to be read. And then you put it back down on your piece. And that saves you this it's stuck problem. Okay, so now that's set up. Next thing you're going to have are these little packets. These packets correlate with these charts that are on the side. The first line is the packet number. The second line is the symbol or letter or whatever they gave it in the picture. And the third one are typically universal color codes. I'm not guaranteeing that every time they're going to match up. It's just like anything that deals with dyeing. Things that just come out different sometimes. And sometimes machines make errors and it's off aligned. And, you know, you got to imagine this machine has all these thousands of colors, these things in it, and it goes along to fill these bags. It brings up things. So if it's misaligned, it may put the next shade darker or the next shade lighter into that bag. Just to let you know. So don't be surprised when you have two things with the same number, but they might look different. So what I typically do, and then what I suggest, is some way of organizing these things if you intend especially to do more than one, because you will have dots left. And trust me, if this is your thing, after you do your first one, it's going to become addicting and you're not going to stop. So do this right away. So, little packet. I use Ziploc bags. You can use containers. You can do whatever you want to do, however you want to store them. Up to you. This one is number 11, which is Universal Code 3779. Whatever you're storing in, them in, be sure, even if you write the number on the outside, that you put the number on the inside also. That means if you're storing them in any kind of plastic container, you not only put the number on the outside, lift the lid and put a sticker with the number on the inside. Because stuff happens to the outside that may ruin that number, and at least you know what that is inside the container. I use Ziploc bags at the moment. This is my most cost-effective way of doing it. Got these from the Dollar Tree. You can get these from most places, for a lot of them for a pretty decent price. You can shop online, like places like Temu and such, and get them cheaper too. Look for them on sale, things like that, or use a coupon like Michael's 40% off or something like that to get small bags if this is a storage method you want to use. I like the bags that I get from the dollar store. I wish they had shorter ones, but it is what it is. But I like that you can write on the outside. So I also write my number on the outside. I put my, in case the number on the outside disappears, number in my bag. I put a smaller empty bag in here to store my diamonds in once I open these up. And then I put my diamond dots in it. Close it up. So now you can store these in number order and you can reference back, because I like to use what's open before I open a new package. You'll find sometimes that in some colors you can use this packet. I've used one up and it have this much in it. I've used it 4 or 5 times because it's a color that they use as like 2 dots on a nose, or one dot here or one dot, 5 dots on the whole thing is that color. So sometimes these colors can last without opening up a new one. Also, by not opening up every single package that you get with every single diamond art, you don't have a bunch of loose diamonds available to become lovely little things that decorate your floors that you got to deal with if they ever spill out or do anything like that. Hi, Angie. Okay. So for the sake of, now you have your diamond art. You're able to pull your dots that you need from your collection. You got wax, green tray, and typically pink, sometimes white wand, and sometimes there will be an extra adapter or connection on here that can do 3 dots at a time. I'm a 1 dot at a time girl. I don't care how big the space is. I enjoy doing it 1 dot at a time for whatever reason, but if you want to use those kinds of tools, you would use it in the same manner as you would use a single one. It's just you're doing more at the same time, which I think kind of is harder, but that's just me. Okay. So now you're starting new on your diamond art. So you want to make a decision. Most people right away do the line by line method, which then creates multiple changes in color sometimes through each line, which means you're dealing with multiple things open at the same time. You could do that if you're comfortable with that. If you are for certain, like I have cats that may jump on my table at any time, so I'm not comfortable doing those kinds of things. But if you are in a good space where you can keep them out of the way, where it's something that won't tip over easily and things like this that you want to use, you can do that. But you can also do just one color at a time, one line at a time. So most videos out there will have you pull this down about an inch, because people are used to resting their hands when they're holding something like a pen. They're not used to holding their hand up in the air. So to help prevent you from sticking to and ruining the surface of your sticky stuff, this is the suggestion that's out there. You would pick your first color in the row, and totally up to you how you do it. You can either just do the color, one color at a time in the row, or you can literally do that color. You only need 2, put it away, pull out the, pull it to the side, close it, whatever. The next color is 2, pull that one out, that one, whatever. You can do it that way if you want. After time, you find out, most people, yeah, that don't work. I'm an all-over worker, one color. I work my whole surface. Now, the biggest one I've worked is 40 by 40. I'm sure if I had a much bigger canvas than that, I would probably take my plastic and literally cut sections in it and treat each section like a smaller board. That's the way, or quarters or whatever it is to make it easier, more bite-sized. But especially when you're doing smaller ones like this, it's pretty easy to, or little stickers and stuff like that, uncover the whole thing. Okay. So now, the way I work them is I work it where I look for, wait, before I do that. If you have poor vision up close or low light vision, problems with low light vision, in other words, you really have to have super bright lights and stuff. At the dollar store and a lot of places, you can get just a small tracing light up board. When you put it on there, it helps people with vision issues for up close. I don't know about that. I don't use glasses for up close at all. So I don't have any problems seeing these letters for the most part, unless they're printed really light on a really odd color, which can happen sometimes. So that is actually what I look for. I look at the board and I look for the hardest to read. Or I look for what color is used the least. So in this case, I'm going to start with a color that's used the least, and the color that's used the least is N. So I'm going to look at my chart, find that it's 824. I'm going to pull out my bag of 824 dots. If you've been doing them, you're going to pull out your little bag with your open dots. Pour some in the tray. Close up that bag or container or whatever you're using with the open dots. Now you shake your tray, because these things are like rhinestones in jewelry, where they're flat on one side and then they got the cut on the top, the faceted cut. So you want the faceted cut part up in the air. Now you get this wax and you get this wand. At the end of the wand there's a metal tip that has a hole in it. You peel back the outer paper or plastic that's on the wax. You poke this tool, the metal part, into the wax until the tip is full. Set your wax aside. When you start doing this, you'll understand what I'm saying at this point. When you're picking up your diamonds and it takes you more than 3 tries to get one, put some more wax in there. Well, usually at the dollar store, they're like $5 at Dollar Tree. Yeah. Okay. So you take your wand and you're gonna go straight down onto your dot. Look for the N. Put your dot on. You don't need to press a lot. You don't need to like smush the heck out of it in there. You just need to put it in and kind of wiggle it a little bit. And you kind of line it up. Now, folks, these things will never, ever, ever, ever be perfectly lined up. Don't care how many tools you have, because In the dyeing process, some inks create a thicker, little bit bigger dot than others. Gotta remember the term in here and another word that these are called with this diamond paintings. And paintings, most paintings, when you look at them, they're not perfectly straight lines. You know, you're dealing with a medium that has flow to it. So don't be overly concerned about lining these up perfectly straight. You can use other tools to help it a little bit if you're way off on a line. To straighten up things, you can do that. And all those kinds of tools are out there, and that stuff is readily available on videos. It's a little rare that I use it. I just used the clay tool yesterday because I was doing those blocks around the kitty cat yesterday. Okay, I think I got them all. So then you would take, like, if you had the new package, you would have opened up your package. I would suggest that you pour most of it into a bag, close it, and then pour a little bit into your tray. When you're done with it, you then take your tray, you put the nose of it in there, and store your dots in the bag. Okay. Don't worry about the wax in the tip of this unless you have stored this for, never finished it. You put it away and you found it 5 years later. I would take a little needle or something and take the wax out of the tip and start over. Other than that, it should be fine. You can store your tray, your wax, and your wand in the original baggies or whatever that it came in. Sometimes they're zippies and sometimes it's like fold over, stick on. And sometimes those wear out, so you can move it to a Ziploc bag, whatever. So you can store it this way. And if you're doing a larger diamond art, you can, I store mine rolled and they're bigger. If this looks small, I can just put it to the side here flat. But, okay, so you're done for the time you're going to be doing this. So you put your supplies away, you're going to take your plastics. You're going to make sure you can read the word up. And you're going to cover that sticky surface. Now try to make sure this plastic is pretty darn flat on there because the gluey surface will, on some of these, will take on the ridged shapes and stuff, which then causes problems when you're trying to lay dots down. And you could keep doing this until you're done with it. And if you wind up with a lot of dots on here, a small section, and you still want to do it, you can put some tape on here just to hold it, cover it. If you need to come back to it, you're not going to complete it that day. If it's a larger piece, I usually put the tray in here, and I would let the object do the rolling to the size of the tray basically for me, and I'd put a little piece of tape here. And then when I come back, I'd undo the tape, open it up, unroll it. You may have to carefully do the backward roll so you don't pop off all your dots. To flatten it out a bit, some people mount these to boards. You can mount them to can't think of the name of the board. Get them at Dollar Tree. They're like an 1/8 inch or whatever thick. Not poster board, but can't think of the name of it. It's stiffer, thicker that you put it on, but you got to be able to store it somewhere where you could stand that piece up or lay it flat or whatever where that piece can fit. So you would treat it like if you had one of those art cabinets, that would be great. Store these in. So when I'm done, I have not gone to the part of doing any kind of sealing or anything like that, so I can't tell you about that. Go look at the video about it. But when you're done, I typically would then carefully roll the piece up, and this is the way I have a lot of mine stored. Put a piece of tape on it, and it's in a cabinet, in a filing cabinet drawer actually. So I don't know what they are until I gotta go through them and unroll them. But I haven't had any issues with it so far. I pulled out one or two just to kind of check and see that I've been in there a while and not had an issue with it. Because I put the plastic over the top, I taped the plastic at least on one on each side to hold the plastic in place before I roll. And the plastic is not going to be perfect when you're rolling. It's a whole thing. You'll figure that out. But anywho, eventually I will be doing something with these more than what I'm doing making. And I'll be doing more things to them, which I started yesterday to show you how you don't have to literally do everything it shows you on here. You can do it differently if you want on certain pieces. Or in any piece you dare to do that. So that is Diamond Art 101 Basics for the most part. If there are any questions, you can always make a comment. If I can answer it easier there, I'd be happy to answer it for you. If not, pop into a live and ask me there. And if I can explain it to you there, I will explain it to you there. Okay, so that is Diamond Art 101. Hi, Nagia. Nia, sorry. How are you, Nia? Hi, Tina. Phone board. Thank you, Tina. I don't know about resin. It's possible. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. Or if you're really brave, you can actually do, a frame that sits higher than the diamonds a little bit, and fill the whole thing in and make it solid. Oh, thank you, Maya. I try. It's a fun thing if you're not frustrated right from the beginning, because trust me, I went into my first one totally blind, saw these things, heard about them, got one, and was like, okay. I didn't watch videos or anything when I did my first one. I figured it out. So I try to figure out the basic stuff and make it accessible. You're not buying a bunch of expensive cases and all this other kind of thing that you don't necessarily need to have to do diamond art. And things like the plastic, because that's something you don't think about. It's plastic. You think it's going to peel right off your hair every time. Well, if you put it the wrong side down, it's not as easy to get off, and sometimes you can ruin the surface. So, I mean, little tips like that right away, you don't have that frustration of getting it stuck on there. I think is a good thing, you know. All right, here's a prime example. 3864. And that package is that color. This was another package. It's the same color. This package, it's a lighter color. But I don't fret those things unless you're doing a big surface. If you're doing small surfaces, I just go with what I got, open. And like I know I don't need that many, I'll just open the other color. And what I'll do is I will use this color, try to keep these colors in the same areas. But if you had something like this happen and it was a more expansive space, you can just mix the two colors together and just let it fall where it may. There's another tip. Having off colors and not having all these bags open, because then you start doing what I initially started doing was 3864A, B, C, because sometimes there can be 3 different shades of the same number. So I'll just group these into one area, and when I'm done with one area, work it out. When I'm done with it, I'll just continue with these. Like, I'll use the lighter color on the moon. I'll maybe start using the darker shade down here. I'm going to use the darker shade the furthest away from the light source. This one has an obvious light source. First, if I get up toward that, I get up toward it. And I'll use the light one, I don't care. Listen, nobody's going to know unless they've done this and have a photographic memory that you're using 2 different shades of diamond dots on things. drills or whatever you want to call them. And I may not even need to open up that other bag, it just depends. I want to work everything. Working my way toward that moon, and I have a feeling I don't even need to open up that other bag. So it's going to be a darker shade. It's okay. I'm not into having 15 of the same color. I mean, it's kind of silly. I'm exaggerating, but oh yeah. Oh yeah, no. No. The only way you'd be able to use these on a material that's washable to a point is to use actually use them like you would gemstone flats in a setting. Okay, I think I got them all. You don't even need to go to the other color, but that's just points to make. So you don't get to the panic point of things. This is meant to be relaxing, fun art. Let's see. And the other reason why, especially at the beginning, I suggest you don't try to put a lot of diamonds in your tray is because you're bound to hit this tray. These things are bound to go flying across the room and everywhere. And you want to hopefully still have enough of a color to finish your diamond art. Another tip, if that happens and you're trying to pick up your diamond art, is if you have a vacuum with a detachable hose, put a nylon over the front of it with a little bit of a divot to push it in. You put it over the nozzle, push it in just a hair, vacuum up your stuff, then push the stocking in, vacuum up your stuff. It gets caught in the stocking, hold it upright, take the stocking off the end of the nozzle, and you can then sort your dots out of your nylon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's smart. As long as the edge of the picture doesn't make a difference to the overall picture. Yeah, Maya, you can use these anywhere you use a flat back embellishment. Yep, the extras. But sometimes it's impossible to use them all. I mean, look at all these bags. And that collection's going to get bigger as I run into colors that I don't have in here already. Because there are thousands of colors. Nice. A little box made of cedar tree wood. They're small wooden boxes, and she uses the diamond art on them. Diamond dots on them. And you can even take older wooden boxes. You don't have to buy new stuff. Old wooden jewelry boxes that have engravings or carvings in them and stuff, flowers and stuff like that. And you can dress them up with a combination of these things and, different types of mixed media supplies. Yep. Well, that's kind of the point. If you truly read my description, that's what it is. That's my thing. I'm an artist. I like to inspire other artists. I'm not one of those artists that are like, if I do something, you can't do it unless you pay me for it, or do this or do that. No, if I'm doing something and you can copy it, you've never seen it before or whatever, and you can copy it, do it. I don't care. Art is supposed to be shared. I'm not looking to become a millionaire. I've got a lot of things going on in my personal life right now, so my sale, my maker showcase of stuff, but I started last year, and hopefully we'll get back to at some point where I not only offer items I have made or supplies from my stash to others for sale, but I have invited other artists on here to do the same. So hopefully gonna get back to that. I'm waiting on some things to occur or not to occur. That's going to determine if that happens. Anywho, but yeah. So, and that's also why normally I have open panel where people could come up here and just art. Um, and if somebody still wants to do that, they can do that. Ask me for the link. I will send it to you. But there may be times where I cannot have a verbal conversation with you based on whatever goings on in my household. So but in order to come up here, you must be 18 years and older. Oh, of course, Tina, that too. Alcohol, ink, and resin. So extremely thin coat of resin. Hands may be full, Maya. Hold on. Oh, another thing you're going to notice is sometimes when you have a color dot and you look at the color that's on here and they're different, Don't worry about it. Just use the color it says to use. Unless, as you go on further and you have a collection of dots and you have enough and you say, you know what, I want to make it look more like that color that's under there that they want me to use, that they're saying is in the picture, but not what they gave me in a dot. And I have a color similar to that. You can do that too. Change the color. I've changed eye color. I changed minor things in some pictures. Um, I haven't gone and changed the whole entire picture yet. That's another, depending on the picture, you're gonna find the right one, something to play with, to give it a different look. So you can get two of the same picture and do it in two different ways when you have multiple colors available to you. Or do it totally different than the actual picture, whatever. And then you can have sets that you can frame to put on the wall and stuff like that. You know, things like, okay, here's a cat. You look at all the colors involved in the cat and how the highlight is. Like this is a yellow highlight because it's on an orange cat and a very lighter highlight. Well, let's say you wanted to make this cat black and grayish, you know, dark gray and black. You know, slightly light neck shade, lighter gray around as highlight of the halo around the actual cat. You can make a black cat in there rather than an orange cat and have everything else the same if you wanted to. You want to change the colors of curtains or whatever. I gave an example of, yes, these colors are going to show from behind if you change colors. Because there's a gap because you're working with round items. They do have, I haven't gotten one yet, but they do have square diamond art where these things are not round, they're square. And that one would probably lend more to doing a lot more changing. But like the one I had yesterday with the white background, I didn't care if there was white behind it. I don't care. I made the patchwork around it, and it still came out really nice. Well, I think the texture you're getting is because of the amount of water that the paper is absorbing. So it's not allowing your polymer, or the liquid the paper is absorbing. So it's not allowing your resin to remain smooth. It's actually drying it out. So you might have to go with a slightly thicker layer. I don't know what your end goal is. I mean, in the sense of what you're utilizing them for. Hi, Kathy. Imposter syndrome. What? That you're not an illustrator? Honey, we are our own worst critics and our own. We put ourselves down the most in the world usually. And in order to succeed, you gotta step above it, that's all. Get the I got this attitude. Yes, Kathy, exactly. Listen, I'm not a drawing artist by any means, but I think literally if you just put a dot on a piece of paper, just put that first dot on the piece of paper, it will help you greatly. You know, and if you were a writer, I would say go to a piece of paper and at the bottom write the end because you're going to want to get to the end. You want to get to why you put the end at the bottom. Oh, that sounds neat, Tina. Okay. The basic colors of cats are tabby, black, orange, tortoiseshell, calico, depending on the markings, white, and Siamese. Tabby, black, orange, tortoiseshell, calico, white, and Siamese.
All right, Kathy, thanks for hanging out. Okay, folks, I'm going to call this one today. I want to thank everyone who came in. I want to thank everyone who hung out. And I want to thank those of you who watch us in the future. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my community page for items that I've made that could be in your home, as well as, or just watch a video. All that helps the channel. But most importantly, please enjoy